take the Nova to the other shop. I'll show you why here in just a second. I'm gonna pop the hood and check some fluids anyways. Oh. Okay, right here on both sides was leaking fluid. So I'm gonna have to pull this intake manifold off and reseal it. I also wanna pull that thermostat out and just see if that's the cause of all my ailments. It's sure running too warm. So I need to check the antifreeze, and it's not very low, but it's a little low. And we'll check the oil and stuff like that, and then we'll head over to the other shop and we'll meet you guys right over there. I'm sort of wore out today. I don't know why, but I just feel wore out. So let's just go over there, get it done, and hopefully it'll run cooler. So I got another thermostat here, by the way. I could just throw it in and then we'll work on that. So, all right, we'll see you guys at the other shop. Actually, you know what? Let's get a cold start on it. Oh. Oh, and I gotta finish wiring up this tachometer. But I did get a tachometer, by the way. Okay, we'll take her over to the other shop. I'm gonna do a little bit of cleaning up on these wires, and then we'll go over there. We'll be right back. Okay guys, it's been a couple hours. I had to bring the car to the shop, let it cool off. What I need to do now is drain some coolant out. I'll drain quite a bit of coolant out, and we'll pull the distributor cap, put it on top dead center, and then we will go ahead and remove the alternator bracket. We'll remove the alternator bracket and we'll remove the intake off. I don't know. Yeah, I'll pull the carburetor. What else do I got to do? I've got to pull the distributor for sure. There's not a whole lot to get this thing off. I'm thinking about pulling out the thermostat just to see. Although, you know, my stepdad always told me I only should change one thing at a time, and maybe I ought to leave that thermostat in till after I fix the intake. Then we'll put the vacuum gauge on it. I brought the Colorado in here, that way I have all my tools right there. And I got new intake gaskets. So let's start by finding some containers we can drain this antifreeze into, and then we will work on getting the intake off. We'll get the intake off, we'll get the new gaskets put on. The whole reason I'm replacing them, let's get this light so I can show y'all. Right here around this bolt, right there, it is leaking on this one too. You can see there's a little bit of moisture on the inside over there. So I don't want to, I think I have a vacuum leak is what I think I have. And if it's a vacuum leak and running lean, then that can cause overheating too. So I can't get my vacuum just right, and it'll give us a good chance to look at the cam. So let's start out with draining this antifreeze and we'll be right back. Okay, well, I went ahead and pulled off the alternator bracket, pulled off the upper radiator hose and the belt and all the spark plug wires. I just figured get them all out of the way. I'm gonna put you all in time lapse and we'll go ahead and replace or we'll pull off everything else. And I just figured get all that stuff out of the way real easy and real quick. So do a real quick and dirty job of it. All right, let's get the rest of it pulled off. Okay, this intake, all the bolts are out. We ought to be able to lift her up and out of there. Maybe. Oh, I might have to get them out real quick. Okay, I found out the problem. I hope I can do it just by loosening these valve covers, but boy, there we go. Intake is off. Let's look in this valley, see what we can see. Whole lot of nothing. Oh, you can see some oil, a little bit of antifreeze right there, and what was leaking, it was coming through here and leaking a little bit of antifreeze. So I'm gonna have to clean all that off. I'll probably go ahead and do an oil change on it too. But now we know. They are hydraulic lifters and hydraulic rockers in there. I think my thermostat was sticking, honestly. But this engine sure looks good. Okay, my camera battery died, so I went home for lunch and let it charge. We got some emery cloth here. A little bit of emery cloth. And we'll go clean up this mating surfaces. That way we can put on our gaskets. So let's get that done. The reason it was leaking, I think, was they just used silicone right there. They didn't use any gaskets, just silicone on the front and back. There's a piece of it that I scraped off. So let's get these mating surfaces all shined up and good to go. Then we'll go ahead and slap the new gaskets on, slap the intake manifold back on. I read online that intake manifold is from Summit Racing, and it can be square bore or spread bore. So let's get these things done real quick. Okay, I've got that all pretty cleaned up. I'm gonna go outside with some carb clean and just spray it all off, get all the oil and junk off of it. And see, I got lots of little pieces sitting around, so I'm going to clean all that off. And there's lots of little bits of oil and stuff like that. We'll get all that cleaned off, and hopefully we'll get that done. And I hope that this thing idles a little bit better. So let me do that real quick. I'll get it cleaned up, and then we'll get back and start putting it back on the car. Okay, I pulled the valve cover off on this side. I think we're ready to go. All I got to do is throw on the gaskets and put the intake on. So, but I did notice that had backed out a little bit, maybe on all of them. We'll get an Allen wrench and tighten them up before I finish up. Let's get the silicone. I did put just a tiny bit under it. I'm going to put just a tiny bit in these corners too. That'll help it seal just a little bit better. Let me get the gaskets. Okay. I think they're ambidextrous, so it even says on there what side to put up. I pulled that one valve cover because I'll have to rotate it in. I think just like that. Okay. These days we'll get a here. I'm working on the car and there's a scorpion right there. Holy cow. It just comes up right next to my hand. Oh, let's try to go inside. Come on, get out of there. There we go, it fell on the floor. See if he comes out. Look at that sucker. Look at him go. Big old sucker. All right, let's get back to work. Okay, the battery died, but it's still ice cold. I got it all thrown back together. Let's see if it starts. Battery. Damn it. Okay, battery's connected. We are in neutral. timing light and we'll see what it does. So we'll be right back. Okay, I've got it buttoned up. We got the timing set at 32 degrees. 34 degrees at 2800 RPM-ish. So anyways, let's back it out and we'll take her home and see if she gets hot. I warmed it up just a little bit at 160. Will you shut that door? Will you shut that door? Okay. As my daughter would say, this is my race car. We'll see if she gets warm. That's what the question is. If she doesn't get warm, then we'll be golden. Ooh. I couldn't get it open with just a lighter. I had to use a torch. So I was sort of thinking it might be bad. Hopefully it was. Idle just a little bit. This thing is fast. These quick runs to Mexico. Yeah, that brought her up to a 170 almost. We'll see. So I'll bring you guys back if it starts getting too warm. Okay, I've only made it like another mile and a half, and got up to 190. See, you can see that. We're just about to 190. So, with no thermostat in it, you would think it wouldn't be running near that warm. But I don't know. This radiator is pretty small for this car. I don't know if it's gonna. We'll just have to watch it and see if it keeps climbing. That thermostat sure acted bad to me though. And another thing is, you know, no thermostat is not slowing water down and speeding it up to keep it in the engine block or in the radiator to cool off a little bit. So that's a little bit of a problem. Although, I mean, it's not getting warming up near as fast right now, so we'll see. I just don't know. I might have to just break down and buy a new radiator. Riding a motorcycle. we did and what we're gonna do. So we'll see you guys at the house. Well, boys, she is warm. She is super warm. I don't like that. So I guess we're not gonna drive this car too much until we get a new radiator, but that'll be when I can afford one. So that might be a day or two. So let's go ahead and pop this hood and just see what she looks like and is feeling like. Yeah, she's a little bit warm. So we'll let her cool off just like she is. We might be putting emergency brake cable on the El Camino. And oh, we've got lots of things we can do. I'm also thinking about working on Tweety back here. I've got a little electric fuel pump, and the fuel pump is bad on it. I got some more tires for it. I mean, those tires would fit on it. So we could get this little dune buggy running. I don't know. I mean, we got lots of things we can do. But anyways, I am super wore out. It's been a long day working on that car, and I think I'm gonna go get my Colorado and go back to the house. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will talk to you next time.